think I remember how to do this. So, we see in the aerospace fighter bay that there is it's like a scarecrow with wings is being painted, and it has smoke jaguar camouflage still on the side of it, but in gold lettering, the word ghost is being put underneath the mech/aerospace cockpit. And beneath that, in larger lettering, is pterosaur, which appears to be the new Crow's Black specific designation for this experimental lamb. We see the pilot, Lieutenant Paul Cullors, going, "Yep, that's right, Ghost, and I'm here to stick around. So I want to get to know all of you in the aerospace bay." Now, you may have known me previously as the aerospace coordinator for the unit, as I have unique experience in the intersection between Battlemechs and aerospace fighters. But I signed up for this unit to pilot aerospace fighters, and that is half of what I will be doing. So glad to have you all on the team. Glad to have all of you working for me. Let's get this thing working, because I am looking forward to a long career in this thing. And he pats it, and as he does, like a whole fucking 1-ton armor plating panel falls off of it and dents the mech bay. And he goes, that was a coincidence.
I really thought you were gonna say kills him instantly.
It would be funny, wouldn't it?
I was waiting for that too.
That'd be too Final Destination of me. You know what I always say, stay baroque, not stay broke.
This is Soundwave's Patreon character, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you gotta wait till he's one day from retirement to kill him off, but we all know that as an aerospace pilot, he's not gonna last that long.
I was say he's one day on the job and he gets killed off.
Yeah.
You just
one day before he occurs his first day of vacation.
I think he'll live.
One day before he gets his benefits.
Optimism.
This land air mech has the smallest bomb bay possible. It is a 1-ton bomb bay. So its air mech part will be flying very fast, dropping a small amount of explosives, and then meching. We cut to his life is dependent on Soundwave's continued support. Oh my goodness. I don't do that shit. Don't even play about that. We cut to the four of you in the command briefing bay. Sergeant Major Eva Anastasi is standing there with the traditional pad that she would always hand to the commander, and now hands it to Major Vincent Gray. Your ship is ready to go. Your dropship is loaded. All her personnel are accounted for. Once you're ready to take off, you'll head to your jump ship, and from there you'll make 2 jumps to the... you'll make several jumps to the periphery, and sometime at the end of July, you will arrive at J-X867539. You know almost nothing about it. It's a uncharted system. It's not even in Comstar files. You made a request to Word of Blake for information about it, and they sent the exact same file over that Comstar did. I mean, they were once the same organization until a couple years ago, but you know, maybe they know something. Apparently they don't, or if they do, they're not telling you.
They have the same amount, essentially. Almost.
It is a series of asteroids, and one, it's not even like a planet size. It's like a planetoid, like a small moon that rotates a very small sun. And on that planetoid, it is believed that there is a stretch of habitable terrain upon which this unit has landed, and that is the full information that you have. You've been told that these are very old warriors and very new warriors. So the first batch are Solama warriors, and your information on them says that they're all piloting 2C converts, so like Jenner 2Cs and stuff like that. Inner sphere mech, second line, non-omni mech type deals. Slightly better than their Innister version, but way worse than an actual clan mech. The other group are 5 new pilots. They were rushed out of the Sibco a year early in order to get to the Innister's front lines. They are not regarded as being the best pilots. They were reserve garrison forces. It's not clear what they're piloting, but they were assigned to a light mech star. This is all the information you have. Your operational orders are to head to the system, engage them with your 4 pilots and your support team if possible. You're just showing up, complete your contract. If you need to retreat at any time, feel free to do so. This is a test as part of a number of war games that are taking place as part of Bulldog. The Lyran Alliance is testing a expanded version of their regimental combat teams. The Federated Commonwealth is testing a program called Mech Commander. The Capellans are testing having supplies, which is new for them. And they've never really done that before. And the Free World League is testing showing up. Sorry, Free
Using
World.
mechs.
Yeah, that's right, Free World Leaguers. I'm sorry about that one. It was easy. Very easy. Almost as easy as killing aerospace pilots.
Almost.
Your unit will be testing something Comstar has done. You've heard the Draconis Combine is testing it as well. Small unit, interlinking. The reports of the effectiveness of firing a metric fuck ton of tag missiles during combat has reached the highest levels of the Star League. And they are very interested to know if you can continue that level of success on a smaller scale.
Because this is a tactic largely unused and misunderstood by the clans. Is that correct?
The only clan which has a Aero 4 artillery platform that you know of is Clan Wolf. They have something called the Naga, which has 2 Aero 4 missile launchers. That's it. There are rumors that
I did consider it.
What do you got?
I said I did consider the Naga when I was looking at mechs.
Please don't. Really? Oh my god. You've heard rumors that there are other clans that have Aero 4 missile capability that they use, maybe even Aero 4 vehicles, but you know, who knows how many clans there are. They say they're 20, but whenever you ask them, they can only name 19 of them, so... I wouldn't say Aero 4 missile spam is dishonorable. Straightforward, efficient.
Incredibly efficient. Too efficient. That's why they don't like it.
So everyone's looking to you, Major. Whole room full of people. Sergeant Major Anastasi has handed you your briefing pad.
How far are we till essentially planetfall, I should say, or at least planet arrival?
Several weeks.
Okay.
This is we're setting out on a journey speech.
Okay. I'm not good at these.
The whole ship is piped in. Well,
They have the intercom set up and everything?
yeah, exactly.
Oh, boy.
I want to tell you that when you say, oh boy, you hear it echoing in the hallways.
This is the second time I've been put on the spot for this sort of thing. I'm not prepared.
The Sergeant Major coughs and shifts next to you in her vastly oversized flak armor.
Right. I know some of us are still mourning the loss of our old commander, but he would know and be proud that we'd be still going after the fight. To those here, we will be not trying to defend, we'll be actually trying to eliminate these clanners. So, should be a lovely change for us. And I expect the utmost efficiency out of everybody. Also, the utmost I can't. The utmost practicality. The tactics that we're testing today, or at least this sort of mission, will be new to us. So we'll have to iron out the kinks. But I have full faith that we will be able to use these tactics to their most efficient and practical means.
Next to you, the sergeant major goes, "Excellent speech, sir," and then begins clapping and glaring at other people to also clap.
I immediately start to clap as well.
Everyone politely claps.
Made feeling very awkward in the situation.
She immediately closes the command circuit, so the meeting becomes only the people here. She says, "Fantastic work, sir. I'm very enthusiastic to move forward with this mission." Should we move forward with this mission, sir?
Yes.
I believe it will take about 5 minutes for the dropship to be ready, so I suppose you should find what you're going to do. Did you want to join the bridge for your first command, sir?
I might
It's just
as well.
blasting into space, but
I understand. So I want to make sure that McGurk, do you still have the problem where you need a bag next to you?
yes, he
I mean,
does.
I just excuse myself and go to my quarters.
It's going to be 7 days before he has to do that. You're still on planet.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I have no idea how these tactics are going to work out for us, as they are not really the preferred method that we've been typically using.
Pavel just leans forward and says, "You like firing artillery, yes? You use lots of artillery and last engagement. Previously, we have used many artillery as well, I am thinking, yeah?
Aren't we mixing like vehicles and stuff? Like
Yes, yes we are. Now you have one Aero 4, one aerospace, one battle armor, and one me." And he gestures to himself like he's the most obvious and important one.
Yes, but we never really had all those things all together at once.
Well, now you do. You have one of everything. It allows 4 mechs in the field to fight as if you are 20, yes? I think Chief Warrant Officer fights as if he is 5 men himself. What with those massive balls he has.
It's true. I'm standing behind him, drinking a milkshake just like this. So it's true.
I mean, he gestures to pour some of his flask into your milkshake.
I hold it out for him.
He pours some vodka in there. He got that vodka stick, you know, like that. There's no smell, but then you're like, "Oh, that's vodka." Flavorless vodka odor.
I think ultimately I'm just not used to the position that I'm in at the moment.
So Sergeant Major says, "Sir, can I talk to you over here for a moment, please?"
What do you need to speak about?
Do you go with her over, like, to a private place?
I'm trying to. I don't know if I can gauge what on earth she's probably wanting to speak about.
Listen, this sounds like a skill roll to me. If you'd like to remove some of the dice that I believe Cotton has expertly placed in the middle of the table to make like a shrine to dice gods, or use any of the other dice. I see that there's other dice if you want to use that instead of disrupting Cotton.
I mean, sounds
Now,
like
one update. Since the last time we played, Mechwarrior Destiny has received its full final release. It's not better, but we are switching to it.
Okay.
I would say, based on what you're trying to do, this would be some sort of insight roll, yes?
I don't know if there is one. I think it's just perception.
Nah, I think there's something. I mean, perception in this game is insight, so I'll buy that.
So it'd be that.
I'll buy that. I'd buy that for $1.
11.
It's a hard read. She's very mean, and she's insistent in speaking with you privately. It's hard to say what for.
Well, I'll go privately then, because I don't know what she's wanting to do.
She says, "Sir, I would appreciate if you showed more confidence in yourself. You are the head of this particular unit, and people are looking to you."
I know.
Questioning yourself on the command deck is something you don't have the luxury of.
I know. Especially as soon as we have pop ship, essentially.
Okay.
Okay.
So she takes a lint roller and like lint rolls your shoulder, and then like tugs at your uniform to make sure it fits better and says, "Very good, sir."
God.
At least you didn't like lick her finger and like wipe some schmooze off your face.
Yeah, listen.
Yeah. You got a little schmutz. Let me just.
That was the next step.
Listen, unit
Didn't
grandma
quite get it.
isn't ready to get to that level of personal contact, but she is here to set you straight when she's not trying to get some revenge on that Canopian hussy that she doesn't like.
Canopian hussy.
Listen, I didn't write the character, but it has proven to be prime material for this show.
I imagine this lady is basically Anna Kendrick in like old lady makeup.
Yeah, that's so spot on. I love it. So you've indicated you wanted to go to the bridge to watch the dropship take off.
Yes.
The whole bridge is a mess of activity, and in the very center of the bridge, the captain sitting behind the pilot is on one of her screens, and she's like, "No, I love you more. I love you more. No, you
Captain.
hang up first." And she says, "Yes, sir. If you'll excuse me, I need to say goodbye to my husband. I love you so much. Goodbye." And then she closes the communication, and then turns to the communication officer and says, "Refuse any further communication from Captain Haller." Wow, I apologize for that, Major. You know, it is so difficult to get. He's very clingy, so attached.
I didn't think they were still together.
It's
They got married and had a kid.
Yeah, I didn't think they were still together.
Yeah, I know. It was a shock to me too.
I want to remind you, they left the kid at home too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like you should be bringing a kid to the war
Well,
zone.
Captain, if I do say you said yes, and now you're stuck with them.
She looks offended, and the whole bridge operation, people stop working, and she turns and says, "Can I speak with you privately, Major?"
What is it about?
Unit morale.
I'm just saying.
That's my husband you just said that about, sir. I believe you've attended several seminars along these lines.
Yes.
Far
but
be it from me to rebuke you, Major, but this is my bridge.
I appreciate that. I understand, but we have a job to do. And I'd like to get to the job.
So she looks down at her hand and twists her wedding ring and says, "I do love my husband, you know,
I
sir."
do. I know that.
Okay.
I'm
If you'll
just-
excuse
I'm
me,
just-
I have a dropship to get in the air. It's a little
Yes.
bit harder than pressing a button on a Battlemech.
No, I understand. It's that. I think Bandito just slightly gets a slight tinge of insult.
I can't remember, but I feel like there was a scene where McGurk figured it out.
Yeah, there was.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know if he knows like with who.
Yeah.
I don't know if you figured that out. I can't remember, but he definitely knows there's shenanigans happening.
So which vessel is this? 'Cause
This
it's a
is
Union.
the
Which
crow's
Union
nest.
is-
You're leaving
Crow's
on
Nest,
the.
okay.
It's the original Union all the way back from the beginning of the show.
Yep, okay.
The air conditioning works now.
Bummer.
Or except that one room.
No,
Oh,
that specific room, they made sure to fix it twice just to make sure.
That's that one room in the office. It's always way too cold.
Talking about the room that was not ventilated.
The
and tear gassed the
interrogation
guy to
room.
death.
Yes.
Tear gas the guy to death.
Yes, that specific room is the room we're talking about.
Yeah. Now the room next to it's not working.
Every room works correctly. The ship got an overhaul. It's been a decade. As you're blasting off into space, you get one final communique from Starleague Command via Pesht Military Command, indicating that they believe that one member of the binary of mechs that you're going up against is a member of Clan Cloud Cobra, and that this particular person may have instigated the rebellion against the Novacat defection. That is all. Like when you click on the hypertext word Cloud Cobra, it comes up with a Comstar Wikipedia link indicating that there's nothing here now, but they're looking to fill it in the future.
I thought you were about to say, just we're blasting off this and this message saying that one person on your ship is a traitor.
No,
You've got 3
you've
months
already
to
had
figure
that
it
message. You have to play a game of Mafia for the next 2 weeks until you find the real traitors. And it turns out that Rapier was a werewolf all along.
It's werewolf, yeah.
I guess that'll be a note to ask Delta about later. If he knows anything
Sure.
about
Do you want to
Clan
hop to
Cobra.
that?
Sure.
All right. Yeah. So Delta is part of Rapier's 5-man elemental team. He is looking even more fit than normal. You think that he might have lost a percentage of body fat or two? He's got some very serious vein definition now. He's with a couple of other elementals, and they're bench pressing a Battlemech armor plate together. Like they're collectively bench pressing it all at once, and then bringing it back down. When you call him out, he has to have everybody stop and wait for 0G to kick in so that they can push the plate away. And then he says, yeah, sir. What do you need?
I was going to inquire to you about have you heard of a clan Cloud Cobra?
I'm aware of all 20 clans, sir. Perhaps we could get some sort of energy drink and a towel and sit down in a lounge somewhere, and I could tell you what I know about them. It's not going to be a lot.
Absolutely, you can take one of Rapier's.
One of Rapier's what, sir?
His energy drinks. He's got probably about a couple of cases full.
That is my commanding officer, sir.
But I'm commanding over him.
I will buy that, sir. That is a reasonable excuse. So it leads you over into like a small discussion area with chairs that you can strap into for 0G, and he says, Clan Cloud Cobra are pretty unusual among the clans. I've never met one myself.
Unusual how?
They well, you have to understand that the rest of the clans, for you've always had Comstar and Christianity and all of the religions that you have. Among the clans, its religious following has more or less been eliminated. Cloud Cobras believe in something called the Way, and believe it offers meaning to existence. Apparently, Nicholas Kerensky, the great founder, decided not to stamp this out from them. They are very unusual. They say that they are for peace, which is very unusual among clan warriors, but they always seem to be fighting something or someone for some reason. And they build something called cloisters. Very weird.
Oysters are a sea thing, but yet they're cloud cobra. Interesting.
Many blood-named warriors of the Cloud Cobras refer to themselves as warrior priests.
Very well. If you get the time, put down on data slate everything else you know about the Cloud Cobras.
Very well, sir. Steel Vipers did have a brief interaction with the Cloud Cobras over the last few years. But I, as you know, I've been away from the unit from my clan for almost 8 years now, so.
I understand. Currently, we are going on to our mission. There's a Cloud Cobra Mechwarrior that is inside a rebellion with the Nova Cats to cause them defect. This is a clan that's not predictable, which worries me. I'll wait.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just dying. No big deal.
Understand?
Yeah, he says, sir, the Inner Sphere clans that your people have met are, I suppose that your idea of the clans has been shaded by them. They are some of the largest, most militant clans. Cloud Cobras, Goliath Scorpions, Blood Spirits. There are very unusual views within clan society that you have yet to truly encounter in the way that those of us born to it have been. Mostly the people you've encountered want to kill all of you, so.
Yeah, that's what I've been able to predict is immediate hatred and bloodlust. Thank you.
One last thing, sir. I don't know if you caught it, but while we were on Pesht, the clan Chatterweb has apparently been implemented throughout the Inner Sphere over the last few months. Apparently it's catching on everywhere. It's a Diamond Shark invention. It's a way for people to communicate via their phones to each other, sending text messages at high speed. Like some sort of integrated network of computers.
Interesting.
Just a reminder that the Battletech setting started in the 1980s before there was an internet. And then the clans were like, we invented something called Chatterbox. It's the internet. Welcome to social media.
Is that something we can obtain access to?
Yes, sir. I myself have a Chatterweb account. Unfortunately, there aren't many Chatterweb users on Pesht. Mostly it's only other members of the unit. Would you like to sign up for Chatterweb, sir? We can get that application on your phone.
Sure.
You'd be surprised what you can find on Chatterweb. You can go to a search engine and type in things, and it will bring up information.
That sounds bizarre.
I understand.
But I
They go
am
to
curious.
books.
I'm so used to having to go through data slates and data slates. That sounds bizarre to think that's a possibility.
The Diamond Shark's minds work in unusual ways. They've always been very mercantile and focused on selling things to the people. It seems like this is very popular among people.
Yes, people like things. They like to purchase things with their money. All right, anything else, Delta?
I wanted to congratulate you on your leadership of this unit, sir. Congratulations, Major,
Thank you.
on your side promotion.
Thank you.
Would you like to use one of our elemental suits? We almost got Black Rabbit in one time.
I'm good.
You sure? They're pretty cool.
Yeah. They're also terrifying. Both in and out of mech.
You can tell that he's nodding because he wants you to believe that he understands, but he doesn't understand because he was born to pilot one, so.
Yeah. And I'm not big enough to fit in your little suits.
Oh, sir, we can get it adjusted for you.
I'm good.
If you're sure, sir.
I don't know how to pilot one, and I feel like it's a bad idea to try. So thank you for the opportunity.
So he goes for a cross the room for 3-point shot of the energy drink, and it does a thing where it goes around the outside and then it falls out in the process. Like the energy of it going around the rim forces it out, and he coughs slightly and then walks over and manually puts it in before wiping some sweat off of his forehead and leaving.
We've all been there.
Yeah. Oh,
Superior human, my ass.
Listen, I want to be clear. I don't know that I've ever been there because that requires putting something in the net to begin with. So you all have several weeks worth of transit time to your destination. Is there anything you want to do before you get there? We do get a montage of McGurk vomiting consistently every time there's a jump. It's very funny for me.
I want to sneak into the mech bay to paint Bandito's new mech.
You don't even have to sneak in there. So your old
No, I'm sneaking in from Bandito.
I see. Your old Aztec has been reassigned, and you have a new Aztec who perhaps is closer to you in personality and helps you paint the mech. Insofar as they are your paint person. You know, if you need somebody to mix 2 paints for you in a certain percentage amount, they get that done for you.
Nice.
Billy drops by from the ceiling. He lowers himself down on a ceiling mount. It looks kind of like he's rappelling into nothingness, and he's just like, "Excuse me, doctor. What are you doing to my giant war machine?"
I'm painting it.
You have authorization to do that? I know that the answer is no, because when you see my hat, it says Mech Boss.
It's okay. Bandito wanted me to paint it.
Okay, I'm gonna check in with him. You don't mind, do you?
Not at all.
Because if you just lied to me, that would be a very serious problem. And if you were to admit that you lied now,
I've painted Bandito's mechs before. He doesn't care.
All right, so you did lie to me.
Not really. I didn't ask him, but
you told me you had
mind.
permission. Okay, so you get a call several seconds later, Major Gray. It's a very serious sounding Billy Wyndham Williamson who goes, "Sir, I've caught an infiltrator who has entered the mech bay and begun painting your mech. They claim to have your permission to paint it, and then they said that they didn't have your permission to paint it."
Is this person breaking into the mech bay Black Rabbit?
Yes.
What is she going to be painting?
I'm not sure, sir. I would like permission to throw her out of here. And by like permission, it's my mech bay, so I'm just going to throw her out of here. I know that your
Okay.
previous engineer allowed you to just paint whatever you wanted on your mechs, but this is my mechs.
I understand. If you want, you can send her here.
Very well. Then he hangs up the phone and goes, "What were you going to paint?"
Well, it doesn't matter now.
What happened to Billy, man? He's like a whole new person.
Yeah. So he says, "No, actually, I want to know."
You're just gonna throw me out after I tell you.
You're right, I am. But you can come back with the proper paperwork and authorization later. And I may let you do it if it's cool enough.
I don't do the paint jobs to impress people.
Yes, but I can't just allow you to paint dicks on the side of the Battlemech.
I have never painted dicks on the side of a Battlemech.
Have you? I noticed you didn't say you've never painted dicks before, which is the thing that concerns me.
You asked for a specific thing, and I gave you the specific response.
The specific thing I'm asking for is, what were you going to paint this Battlemech with?
Probably something to match his other Battlemech.
So, like tiny skulls and a sombrero?
I thought I painted like a tiger on his other Battlemech.
I don't remember that. That was like 2 or 3 months ago. My memory only extends back 10 seconds.
I think it was like some kind of ghost tiger.
Sounds right.
So he's like, I'm gonna fill out some paperwork, and when you're done with the major, come to my office. Do not return here and pick up paint supplies until you've seen me.
Why?
Because we're going to talk about the paint job, and maybe I will grant you authorization. These are my mechs. See this hat? As he's saying it, he's upside down. The hat starts going away from him. He snatches it out of the air, puts it back on.
I thought we were friends, Billy.
We are friends. That's why I'm not throwing you out of an airlock.
Friends don't stifle other friends' creativity. I'm gonna get off the mech.
He says, "Well, I'm friends with McGurk, and he stifles my creativity all the time. Friends do stifle creativity. It's one of the bases of friendship."
You really starting that argument with something McGurk does?
So as he presses the button to drag himself back up to the ceiling, he goes, "I might have lost that argument."
I guess I'll go see Bandito.
I think all he's going to ask is like, what were you going to paint?
Doesn't matter now. You're not getting a cool mech now if you won't let me paint on it.
I mean, I'll let you paint on it. I'm just curious.
You told him no.
I didn't tell him no.
You didn't tell him yes.
I didn't tell him yes either. I'm telling you yes now. You can go paint whatever you want.
Why didn't you back me up with Billy then?
Because I want to make you walk.
Wow.
I think she's gonna leave and slam the door behind her.
I just shoot Billy an email saying that she has permission to paint on his Mac.
Okay. You get an email several seconds later, Selena, indicating that your expertise is needed in the mech bay if you would report to the mech bouse. And it's actually spelled B-A-U-S.
I guess I'll go to the mech bouse.
So he's got a headset on, and it's clear that he's listening to Sleemow music, and he's narrating to himself as he's writing lyrics down, and he's like, that's right. I've come to realize they were right. The Buddhist monks truly embodied the suffering I feel when I make my music. I never realized that about myself. What can I get to rhyme with orange that will cause the viewer the most suffering? Then he sees your reflection in the polished steel, and he takes the headphones off and says, "I'm sorry, I was just working on some private projects. What? I understand that the pilot has given you authorization for a paint job. Doctor, what paint job exactly will you be placing on my giant war machine?"
I don't know if I want to paint it for him now.
Well, you have several weeks to figure it out. I would hate for your creativity to be stifled if you didn't paint it. I mean, you know how it is when you want to paint something, like
I did want to paint it.
lyrics of suffering, to just unleash all of the woes and changes in your life onto a piece of paper and turn them into lyrical poetry. And you can't hold it back. Sometimes you just stare at the ceiling at night, unable to sleep, hoping to one day break the dam of existential torment.
You're right.
I appreciate that. What were you going to paint exactly?
I was just gonna let my paint flow and see what came out.
All right, at this point, Billy is defeated. He just takes a stamp and he stamps it into the ink and he presses it onto the paper and he says, "All right, claim whatever you want. It's not my problem anymore."
Thanks.
He goes to sit down in the chair, but because it's like near zero gravity, he starts floating out of it. And he puts the headphones back on and it's just like suffering as you close the door. Now I, as the game master, am asking you what you are painting. I realize several people so far have asked you what you're painting, but you actually do have to tell me.
I'm trying to remember what I painted last time. I think it was a ghost tiger.
You're gonna paint another ghost
It was a
tiger?
ghost tiger.
I think I'll paint like little ghostly stripes across it, like they look like they're glowing. Maybe some of it has glow in the dark paint. And then a couple like artsy paint splatters. Like an abstract design as something specific.
This is my favorite cat in the entire world. I want to just make that known.
But on the cockpit door, I'm painting Kenneth Cross inside of it. Since he just
So when the door is shut, he sees Kenneth Cross. Is it like him pointing, going, "Howdy, partner"?
it's like a really cartooned version, like
It's like the
Maybe from some of
SpongeBob meme. We're just like doing the chicken wing thing, but Kenneth Cross.
yeah.
Oh my God.
And at top of it says, "You should have just let me paint your mech."
Ooh, wow. The next morning, when you wake up, Major, there's someone waiting outside your door for you to finish getting dressed. They have your breakfast for you, but it's not your usual butler. It's your Aztec responsible for taking care of your mech. He's holding a tray with your breakfast on it, and he goes, "Sir, can we talk for a moment?"
Sure. Let's
He steps
What's
into
with
your
the
quarters and
bribery?
shuts the door and says, "Do you have any blood pressure medication or any stress problems this morning? Can he get you some alcohol? It's 8 a.m. in space. That's any time. Any sort of over-the-counter relaxants?"
what's the problem?
I was just checking out your mech like I do every morning, and I understand that you have a close and personal relationship with Kenneth Cross.
Something of the sorts, yes.
Well, the inside of your cockpit door now has a giant cartoon Kenneth Cross in it. Also, your mech was painted overnight. No one really told me, so that was... it's not like I could accidentally mix up a giant 100-ton war machine with another one, but I was surprised that it was glow in the dark.
Can you please take me to it? I'd like to see for myself.
Do you not know the way to the mech bay, Major?
Yes, but I want to make your blood pressure feel high as I'm going the way. As you're anticipating me
no,
see it.
I'm actually pretty good. I'm just slightly worried about you, but you seem to be like you're in a good mood.
I'm fine.
Okay, well, float with me around the corridors. So when you enter the mech bay, it's exactly as has been described, and the cockpit door is open, and you can see Kenneth Cross up there waving at you, and above it, it says, "You should have let me paint your mech."
That seems about right.
You want me to repaint it, sir?
I'll Black Rabbit do it.
I'm not getting involved in that.
Yeah.
So he kicks off from the mech and begins floating in a totally different direction. Any other scenes in the multi-week travel through the dark void of space beyond the edge of human knowledge?
I feel like McGurk is just tinkering with his new cattle master.
When did you get this cattle master?
That's what he used to hunt the gorilla, and he said he was going to buy it. I feel like he never spends any money. He probably has enough to just buy a cattle master.
Oh my god. All right, let me see how much a cattle master costs. This might actually be pretty reasonable.
Plus, it's
I
used.
think
You know,
it's a mil at most.
I don't see a price here on Sarna.
He's 50% owner in one of the most cutting edge weapon development.
Yes, but the company has been dissolved because now Billy physically works for the unit now.
Oh, McGurk would not have allowed the company to be dissolved. It still exists. He can take a contract. He can subcontract himself to the unit, but McGurk does not give it. If Billy wants to sell his shares to McGurk, he can
let's
do
have that conversation then with Billy then.
Okay.
Next to the cattle master.
Yeah.
Yeah, Billy's just like, look, I am a member of Crow's Black now, but I don't think that we need to keep the company together. It just doesn't make sense. But there's a lot of money that we could dissolve from the company.
And what are you going to do with that money, Billy?
Well, I could invest in my career, you know?
What does that mean?
It's difficult to make it in the music world without capital.
The music world. Listen.
What are you going to do with that money?
Listen. I don't want the money.
I
have never been a person driven by money, and it disappoints me to hear that you might be.
I'm driven by the pursuit of art.
Listen to me.
I always have been.
And I've always admired you for that. You are a genius with a wrench in your hand.
He nods. He's just like, yeah.
And a schematic under your nose. There is nothing that you cannot build or take apart and put back together better than it was before you took it apart.
He does that thing where he wipes under his nose, but when he does, he leaves a streak of black grease there.
You are an incredibly gifted engineer and inventor. And the reason we started this company was to take your artistic talent and to point it in a direction that could make a real difference in the inner sphere. And I believe that we have done that, and we should continue to do it. Now, when the clans are done and this threat is over, we can revisit this conversation. But we have not yet accomplished what you and I said we were going to do when we started this business. It started as a way for fame and fortune in the ring, but it has become so much more than that. And you and I have both invested a tremendous amount of our heart and soul into pushing the boundaries on what can be done to defend the inner sphere against the clans. And for you to just want to dissolve that hurts. It's not about the money. It's about giving up on the dream and squandering your genius. Now, I'll support your music career, but that's not what this is about. That's not what brought us to Crow's Black. That's not why you have a job at Crow's Black now. We came out here for a specific reason. Together, we agreed upon it. We believe in it. I still believe in it. But now I'm not so sure what you believe in.
Okay, make a leadership roll.
I don't have it open. Somebody else
That's
can roll
fine.
the dice.
It
I'll tell you my
actually
bonus.
it crashed while I wasn't looking, so I just had to invite everybody back. I went to go. And I hadn't saved since it crashed, so
you have
fortunately,
+5.
I have a +5 to leadership.
that's a good number.
The shared sheet comes in handy sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, I have the sheet open. I don't have tabletop open, so I need somebody else to roll the dice.
I'll do it. I'll use.
Good,
I'll use these
Pondo.
dice, actually.
Excellent.
Why?
You just took some of Cotton's dice for no reason? After I
11,
even set the pink dice aside for you?
11
you got
total?
16.
16. Nice.
Okay. Billy is critically inspired. The depressive funk that has been following him for weeks lifts as he says, you know what? You're right. I don't know what I've been doing lately. I need to get back out there and I need to keep experimenting. We can push these mechs so much harder. And you know what? I did think of several words that rhyme with orange.
Listen, I'm really glad to hear you say that. I know you took a punch to the heart, and we've all been there. And you are treading the path that winners tread, in that you take a hit, you absorb that hit, you reconcile with it, and you move forward onward towards your real calling. And I am here to stand next to you the whole way until we have completed and finished what we started.
Okay.
Now give me an advance so I can pay for this Cattle Master.
He's like, man, we make so much fucking... Listen, I don't want to say that I've been overcharging the unit, but we have been working for months on critical military infrastructure. We can just...
With no expense. Like, yeah.
We could buy this. He's just like, yeah, this Cattle Master, we already bought it.
It's pocket change. Yeah. I'm pretty sure the only thing Butch spends money on is like alcohol.
Yeah. So are you buying it personally, or is the company buying it?
I'll just buy it personally. If I can afford, if you're telling me I can buy it personally, I buy it personally.
All right. So it has to go in Mech Bay 3, and it's being stuffed between the APC and its artillery tow.
I mean, I keep it in my quarters, so I have to. That's fine.
Cattle Master?
Yeah.
Your quarters are the size of the head.
It's fine.
Just mothball it. Carry it as cargo.
What the fuck?
Maybe it's not a Cattle Master. I don't know. Whatever it is, it's some industrial mech.
No, it's definitely... Listen, it's a Cattle
That's
Master.
fine.
It's the
That's
iconic,
fine.
the original.
I want it to look like the mech from the Suits.
All right, okay, so you want to have... You and Billy are going to work on this thing and pull it apart and make it a Frankenstein?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to put like a t-shirt cannon on it and something that'll like shoot beer cans. And yeah, I'm turning it into an absolute toy. 100%
All right.
toy.
So, I mean, you're going to have to rip some of the existing machine guns off to make room for...
I'm going to leave like one machine gun on it, but yeah, I'm going to take a lot of the other stuff off of it and just give it a bunch of silly stuff.
At some point in the future, we'll be saying, look, we can't salvage this Mad Cat 2 because McGurk's monstrosity is taking up the only available bay.
Yeah.
Cattle Masters aren't that big, right? How tall are they?
They're only like a 25
They're standard
tonner.
size mech, aren't they?
Oh yeah, they are 25 tons. Sorry, I thought they were like 5 or 6 tons.
No.
All right,
Yeah,
they're
I was gonna
considerable.
look. That's why I said Cattle Master, but I was gonna look if there was an ultralight mech that I could pick. But that's fine.
There are some, yeah, security mechs and the like.
I want something small, some little, like I said, something equivalent to the mech from the cartoon.
What's the other one called? Militia mech?
There's the Cooper. The Cooper is a militia mech.
There's no model called militia mech. There's the Quasit. The Quasit is the most common militia mech.
Yes. They're weird.
That's a 65 tonner.
That's too much.
I don't understand why they aren't called Battlemechs. I mean, they're basically the same size and weaponry as Battlemechs.
Yeah.
Because they are built with primitive armor and structure, and they have ice engines.
Well, I can't wait. So, since the last episode, TRO 3051 is out now. Ill Clan is starting to come out, and it looks like the Clan Wolf almost certainly has seized control of the Inner Sphere. Comstar and Clan Seafox have merged to become one super corporation, and all of humanity now lives under clan society, and they can try to earn their way into higher ranks of society by fighting in old Battlemechs in gladiatorial games. And different, so like, did it happen in Gladiator or was it in Spartacus, where they would put on specific gladiatorial shows that would recreate a battle?
I haven't seen Spartacus, but they do.
It's
that
in both. They do it in both. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that's what they do. Is they're like, we're gonna recreate the Battle of Tukayid, and like, here's the specific swamp, and they fight with the specific Battlemechs that were there, that era Battlemechs. So they fight with like 100-year-old Battlemech things.
They do Civil War reenactments.
It's gonna, yes, they do Civil War reenactments from the side of both sides losing. Yeah, so TRO 3150 is really, and they're gonna release 22 more of them over the next couple of months. Can't wait for that. It's gonna be weird. Where were we? You and Billy are now working on stripping the... So I think Billy would insist that instead of stripping... I know I said the machine guns. Billy wants you to strip the lasers because he doesn't feel like they have a lot of value. With that Cattle Master experience, you know, with the Cattle Master, you really just want to mow down a lot of cattle infringing objects using machine guns.
Yeah, yeah.
And that the lasers are really only useful in fighting other Cattle Masters.
I'm cool with that.
So with that, you have a lot of free energy on the mech with which to do other things.
Cool,
like power a internal beer combustion engine that delivers you beers.
Yes.
So Arthur, part of my understanding of the physics of spaceflight in Battletech is that you have gravity on the dropship going to and from the jump point because it accelerates, turns over, decelerates.
Yep.
But you don't have gravity during jumps because you're static in space unless you go into a jump ship which has a gravity deck, which is just a spinning deck to actually create gravity through centrifugal force.
All that is correct so far.
Okay, so that would mean that then on the dropship it's zero gravity while you're in the space waiting for the jump sails to repower and jump
which is
again.
where you are waiting right now. Yes.
Okay, cool. So I will be using the time to work on the mechs then in zero gravity where it's easy to access all the various parts and check it out. And
okay,
especially on repairing the Masakari. Although that being said, Medusa has gremlins, so I think I swear a lot at things that just keep breaking.
Oh boy, I can't tell whether Billy comes over and helps you or not, or if he's just too
This
wounded.
is why I'm wondering in case it gets more awkward or not, that's all.
Oh boy. Let's do that scene then. I think as you're approaching the jump point, there is an alert that calls it's not an alert, but there's a notice throughout the ship that calls everybody out of the mech bay. Apparently, as the dropship is pulling up next to your jump ship, there's another jump ship that's appeared, and it's the size of a normal jump ship, but it has a huge amount of mass compared to normal, and everybody's heading up to the observation deck to take a look at a Novacat SDLF warship.
Oh.
So it's
warship.
just
I don't like
you
the
and Billy in the bay, and Billy just looks around and says, slow day, huh? You crossed those wires 3 or 4 times now. And that splicing job is not going to hold. That's...
It's sparking whichever way I do it. So...
Yep.
Okay, well...
He floats over next to you and he bumps into your shoulder and he's like, sorry, just trying to get in here. light violin music starts playing.
I'll give it some room.
He's like, no. I mean, you need to see this. Obviously, I mean. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to remove these, and we're going to bypass that line, and I'm going to set up impedance over here so that we get some balancing. And yeah, that should do it here. Also, the thing that you were doing, I think it's not clear to me, but you might have caused a slight fire in the case section of the ammunition on this mech.
I didn't see a fire. But...
Well, it would only happen if you were triggering the... You know what? Don't worry about it. It's just... Do it this way from now on. Just do it this way if you need it. This extremely specific Have you been having trouble in here? People have been reporting that you're swearing in my mech bay all the time.
Look, I'm not a technician, but I still want to be involved in making sure everything works.
That's good, since we expect all the Mechwarriors to be able to work on their mechs. Yeah.
I do notice that technicians do tend to take a look at what I've done after I finish to make sure.
Yeah, I gave them
okay.
specific orders to do so after they reported back to me with what one might call alarm.
All right, well, the way they shake their heads isn't exactly filling me with confidence.
He looks at you, then he looks away, and he takes a deep breath, and he looks back at you and says, you know, maybe what you need is a remedial mech repair tutorial. You know, just to catch up your skills.
Look, I could draw these schematics in my sleep, but it's
sure.
When I get into here, it's a mess.
Okay. Well, you know what? Why don't I just help you out for a little while and we'll take a look at it.
I'd appreciate that, Billy.
Okay. And then it gets a little less weird for a while.
Excellent.
In the background, we see the untethered cattle master just floating randomly in space before someone walks in and like gets a grappling gun and pulls it back down.
Just his torso, not its legs.
I love the idea that someone has to get in there and clean out all the gunk from the internal combustion engine. Yeah. This is probably Pavel. He's like, no one's cleaned this in 30 years. Doesn't anyone understand what carbon scoring is? Surprised that any of these things work. I would think that among the technical crew of the ship, plenty of people are coming by to look at the cattle master and offer you they don't help you, but they offer you suggestions on things that you could.
Okay.
They're often contradictory to each other as well.
So hey, I found this mech, this industrial mech, and we could keep it a cattle master if you want. I just wanted it to be something small, but I found this thing called the Guard that says it's a security mech, and it's only 15 tons, and it has basically no other details other than it had two machine
guns. I'll buy that.
Okay, so that's
it's
what
Draconis Combine. Yeah.
So I can kind of just make up what it looks like, right? Since there's literally no picture, no description of this thing.
It's a quadruped mech.
Oh, does it say that?
Yes, it says
shit.
Awkward quadruped monstrosity of questionable Capellian workmanship.
Never mind.
Obviously, you gut it and make it a biped mech.
Yeah, that's probably. I think that's too much of a stretch.
This is a man looking for ultralights.
I want a tiny little toy. I want the equivalent of an ATV mech.
What about a flea?
What about the ranch hand? It doesn't even list a mass. It just says machine gunning cattle prod.
Is the Corgi canon now?
Which one?
The Corgi. I think it's non-canon.
I mean, the Roadrunner looks a bit like the mechs from Suits.
Yes.
What does?
The Roadrunner.
I've got that open. Emerald Harrier. Yeah. It's Jade Falcon mech. It's a 15-ton. Oh, it does look like that. Interesting. Cotton, I'm going to send you the corgi. It looks like a corgi. It's also a troll mech because it has like 50 tons of weaponry and it weighs 10 tons. But it looks like a corgi and it has that corgi ears headset.
Well, I want it.
It has plus 50% adorableness, minus 90% tail length, plus 10-minute bark duration. These are all official stats.
This is great.
Yep. I'd also note it comes with 2 LBX-28 auto cannons, which would be pretty tough to mount on a 10-ton mech.
Let's just go with the ranch hand and say it's 15 tons. Can we do that?
Sure.
Okay.
People drop by your ranch hand and...
Cool. Now I have a mech-sized cattle prod that I can do something with. Excellent.
And a machine gun. That's it.
The machine gun will stay, but the cattle prod's coming off, and it's going to be repurposed somewhere else. I don't know where yet. But somewhere.
It's from Galisteo, so that's in the Free Worlds League. Possibly even the planet that you come from.
Great.
Galisteo is one of the Trinity worlds that all of the Camachos Caballeros come from.
Okay, so maybe when I found this little lease place and saw that it had a ranch hand, I was like, oh, sweet. Like, this is just like my T16 back home that I used to bullseye warp rats.
Someone nearby.
And that's why I bought it, because I was like, is this a slice of my childhood?
When you say that, someone walks from around the corner, they're wearing a cowboy hat. Let's be clear, they're ethnically Japanese, very Draconis Combine. They're wearing a kimono, but they have a cowboy hat on, and they say, womp rats. We have them around here, but they are giant primates and they eat us. We use these in order to kill them. Would you like to try it? We offer tours for a very reasonable price.
Hell yeah.
I feel like that's the story of how...
I think I would.
Afterwards, he's like, actually, we were looking at decommissioning this specific model.
And then we slash cut to McGurk in 0G holding a giant cattle prod going like floating after Billy as Billy floats away, like,
Billy is just like, Butch, put that away. That's dangerous. You can't float around an active vehicle bay with a ranch prod.
Perfect. This is everything I could have hoped for this episode.
He has placed a quad hot dog dispenser in the upper, so when you need it, you reach up here, you squeeze your hand, and it will release a hot dog that will heat over the course of 5 seconds. Then you can put it in your mouth, and it dispenses another hot dog into the ready position.
Excellent.
And it heats them off of the heat of the engine.
It's like an ammo rack, except for it's just lined with hot dogs. Yeah.
But it only has 4, so you have to use bombs wisely.
Right. I understand.
They come pre-condimented as well.
You can't have everything you want. I mean, that's don't be ridiculous. Cool.
Oh yeah, I love the idea of elemental versus range hand fights.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get with Rapier and see if he'll spare any spare elemental parts to augment this thing.
No, but he will challenge you to a 5v1 on the ship's new training simulator that you can hook the ranch hand into.
There's no way it can compete with an elemental, right?
I mean, it can compete with one elemental.
Okay. Yeah, if it's a simulator.
But 1v1 you, bro.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he chooses stages that have a lot of obstruction that kind of favors his fighting style, which is to pop out and fire missiles while running away.
I go in there to the simulator and go into the Solaris Skunk Works of the simulator and modify my my ranch hand file.
No clip.
To have 3 PPCs or something like that.
Are you Kobayashiing Maru this shit, are you?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not a simulator anymore. They attach wires to your mech, and then you pilot it from the cockpit.
Oh, cool. Okay, right on. I'll take it.
All right. Several weeks later, you arrive in orbit of, what was the name I made up? J-X8675309.
For a good time call.
Yeah, but obviously. It's listen, in this star system, it's the only place you're going to find a good time. So When you arrive, Major Vincent Gray, the whole operation is up in your hands. You have no intelligence. It's a 4-day transit at regular speed to the planet. Your sensors are detecting a crap ton of garbage from the local sun, which is preventing you from resolving anything on the planet. You can see, as expected, it has a narrow habitation band between the icy frost of deep space and the tidally locked flame part of the front of the planet. The habitation band is like an actual band around the planet.
What was the estimate of how many units was on this planet?
It's believed that there are 2 stars of 5 light mechs here.
Light mechs?
Yep.
Okay.
1 unit will be a 2C conversion, so like intersphere mechs that have been clanified, and the other will be actual clan mechs. The pilots are either super old or super young, like 16-year-olds or 50-year-olds.
Is there...
Just to be clear, 50 years old is old in clan society.
Yeah. Is there, like, visible places that we could land the dropship relatively easily?
I mean, it's hard to get sensor readings, but from the charts that Comstar has provided you, there are several prime drop locations.
And it's just hoping you don't find the one that they had.
Correct. So the first thing that happens is Lieutenant Paul Colors reaches out to you and is like, "Now, sir, I don't know if you know this, but my call sign is the Golden Ghost. I'd like permission to take my land air mech, the pterosaur, out there. Now, it's going to be tough to do a multi-day journey like that, but I'm sure she'll hold up. She seems ready. I'll head out in front of the dropship, do some quick atmospheric scans, and come back."
Does this man look like he has the utmost confidence in his...
Absolutely. Listen, you have never seen someone who's more confident in their mech in their entire life.
Oh, man, he's gonna die horribly.
Evil GM chuckle.
Very well. I will just warn you to be careful.
After you said very well, and before you said anything else, he's already running down the hall. The show goes from realistic to an anime. As he's running, he's holding his helmet. He gets in his mech, and the mech rotates on a platform, and the Transformers theme starts playing as his mech's arms come in. Transformers! And they have a platform that lowers the mech down into aerospace position. And he's like, "All right, we're ready to go, boys." Beep, boop, beep, boop. And you hear somebody that's like, "Go, go, go!" And he out into space before you finish saying your sentence. Transformers! More than meets the eye. That's it. That's the end of the episode right there. We're good.
Okay.
Pterosaur is an excellent name, by the way.
Thank you. I didn't pick it. Soundwave did. I let him name his own custom mech.
Very cool.
I made the mech. He made the name.
Spelled with a P?
Terra. Like terror.
Oh, okay.
Not like pterodactyl, which is spelled with a P.
Like,
Yep.
I'll buy that. That's true.
or pterosaur, which is an actual.
Pterosaur? Yeah, that's true. It's not spelled like that either, though. It's spelled like the enemy from Chrono Trigger. Boom. There you go. Everybody can take 3 experience points. Next week, I'll be revealing to you the disposition and location of your enemies, and then you'll pick what mechs to take, and we'll drop. And probably should come up with a strategy.
Just take all the heavy.
Keep in mind, if we take our heavy mechs, we're all going to be losing fame for shooting light mechs and heavy mechs.
Wow.
No one will have to know.
Wow. Here's James here. Oh yeah, all of the incredibly high fame ratings you all have right now, right?
Yeah, we don't get any medals from it, and we lose fame.
We don't all have to take the same thing. Some of us can take heavies and some of us can take lights.
That's true. You'll be able to make a decision when you get a better idea of how your pilot does, who I will be rolling for during the week to see if he lives. Let's start out. I mean, look, he's in a custom model which has never been tested, and he's got a 6-day turnaround flight, during which, if there's any problems, he's lost in space forever.
I think the problem is he's going to say, "Oh, 5 Gen 2Cs. I can take this and land and start the battle himself."
Oh, God.
You can get them all to overheat.
Like candy from a baby, and then he transforms and kills himself as the machine just destroys itself on top of him.
It transforms and the ammo bay explodes in the process.
Did you know,
crushed.
Arthur, that in the current rules of the game, when it's in air mech mode, it uses the wiki rules?
Wow, I hate that. That's winging ground effect for the folks at home. As you might know, I'm a big fan of winging ground effect, except for the fact that it also sucks. And I don't mean in rules, I just mean in general. It's absolutely one of the most efficient ways to fly and utilize energy, but also it's fucking horrifying to be on the inside of. It uses the reflection of the energy coming off of the plane to force the plane to stay in the air. It's wild. You know, speaking of those outros from the beginning of the episode, James, let's start with you.
Thanks for having me back onto this show again, and able to stick around and finish out the current season. So had a good time. Got to find some more feet for the character. It's funny that you mentioned that Billy was incorporating Buddhism into his music, because I'd sort of, when I was fleshing out Hauser, I decided that she was practicing Buddhist as well.
Fantastic.
So there you go. Yeah. So I did a reading about how Buddhists in the military work. So,
well, for him, it's about suffering. So
yeah, which is probably missing the mark pretty far.
There is both suffering and not suffering, profit and not profit.
Yeah. But no, I had a good time. Thanks for having me back, and looking forward to next week. Hopefully everything goes well.
Yes. As we all know.
Yes. Otherwise
aerospace pilots always. First off, everything on the show goes well. All of life goes well. And aerospace pilots always succeed.
But I'll be back on Saturday for Rogue Trader.
Excellent. Excellent. I'm looking forward to that. I will also be here Saturday for that as well, surprisingly. Yeah. You know, speaking of someone else who will be here Saturday, Cotton, you'll be in the background.
Passing food to Pondo through the curtain.
We actually don't the show almost never sees you, but we sometimes catch glimpses of you on the widescreen part of the camera.
I try really hard to not be on camera.
I think it works. I
thought I was out of the camera shot when I stuck my hand through there to hand him the food.
Listen, it's fine. They
told me afterwards, but not at the time.
It's a really great juke for me to make it seem like I'm going to pass it to Pondo, but then pass it to you. I need to recover from Rad ruining all of my reveals at the beginning of the show.
That's fair.
It was completely accidental, but also excellent.
Sounds like all of my successes in life. Completely accidental, but also excellent. Cotton, what else do you do when you're not here?
I doodle.
Yes.
I'm also on your Tuesday night show On the Tabletop and Pondothemad's Sunday game of Gestalt.
Just sweet. Understood. can't bait you into that one, huh? I might be able to get Pondo with it later.
One of the only phrases that I remember the most in French is "Je ne suis pas un cheval."
I don't know what that means.
It means I'm not a horse. So when you say "je suis," you're just saying I am.
Yes, I'm aware of that.
Oh, okay.
Just to be clear, though, I am not, in fact, a horse.
That's good.
So you're a horse racist, then?
Nope, I'm just not a horse.
But you thought it was good that okay. I'm not
You should be proud of whatever you are.
That is surprisingly forward thinking. You got anything else, Cotton? Any more wisdom?
No. I painted a skateboard and that was fun. That's all I got though.
Saw that. That was super cool, by the way.
It was very hard.
Wait,
The surface was very bumpy.
where
It
was
looked
this?
like it. She posted it in art, I think.
You liked it, AP. You have a little heart emo under
What
it.
is?
I
Was this?
painted a giraffe on a board.
Oh my god! I didn't realize it was a skateboard.
It's like a little penny board because my niece
Yeah.
is very young.
I'm sorry. I
But,
thought it was
yeah.
like a plank of wood that you were putting into a fence or something.
No, it's a penny board, so it's like a small skateboard.
In my defense, it was like midnight when I saw it. So,
Fair enough.
I was just like, oh man, that's a really cool fence post. I've never heard of penny boards. So like this is like for little kids skateboards?
I don't know, but it's the size that she could use it
Fantastic.
as a regular skateboard. That's it.
You know, speaking of people who make art, Raddosaurus, what do you got?
I also skateboard. Well, I used to.
Do you?
I was a skater.
It's one thing to
skater
say
boy.
I was a skateboarder,
See
and
you later,
another to
boy.
say I still am. I know that you skate because I have a picture of you skating.
If you ever want to
I have a
giraffe,
picture
roller
of-
skates, yes. I have been on quad skates all 2 times in my life. But
You
no,
don't rollerblade? You don't inline?
again, when I was young, I did. I don't anymore.
You seem like a person who skis instead of snowboards.
Really?
That's me setting up an insult.
Really? How dare you?
Thank you. It was accepted as intended.
I own 2 snowboards, and they're right up there in my
Very
snowboard
well.
bag above my kitchen.
I understand.
Yeah, I know. I happen to be a certified snowboard instructor. Thank you very much.
This is
but
a
I'm
man
also-
who double black diamonds in his sleep.
But I'm also a certified ski instructor. Well, you just got both when you got anyway, it doesn't matter. Yes, I used to snowboard, and I still snowboard. I used to skate, and I used to surf, but then my surfboard got busted up, and I haven't fixed it, and it's been a couple of years, so I can't really say that I still surf, although I could still surf if I had a surfboard, but I don't right now. Anyway, enough about how I used to be cool. Let's talk about how mediocre I am now. I am Raddosaurus. I am on this show and no other shows, but you can talk to me on Arthur's Discord if you were so inclined. I don't know why you would be, but you could. And I might even respond in a non-snarky fashion, although that's pretty unlikely, but you could try.
I talk to you all the time, and I still get snark.
It's true. It's fun to be snarky on the internet. I mean, what else is there to say, really? You could come be snarky to me. We could be snarky to each other. I am working on several overlays in the art department for Arthur. First and foremost is Battletech, but the other ones have had
Please do not prioritize Cottontailed.
No, I'm just kidding. All I did was take the Battletech logo and change the B out for a C.
I know, and I've already created a new art folder called Battletech and placed the logo in it.
Fantastic. No, I'm working on the Cyberpunk 2020 overlay, which I hope everyone will be pleased with. I have a big vision for it, and it's not going to be realized in a single iteration. So there will be kind of a baseline overlay that will be good, But then I think this overlay is going to be something that evolves over time into something special, I hope. I will have to work with Arthur to figure out how to do some of the animations for it that I have in mind. But I feel like you can't have a cyberpunk overlay without having some cool animations on it. So it's not as far along as I would want it to be. I'm having trouble realizing my concept, but it is coming along, and I do hope it'll be ready for, if not next week's show, the following week for sure. So I will have something for next week, but like I said, it won't be fully realized just yet.
Just to be clear,
it's going to evolve over time.
Is this overlay radical?
To the max, yes.
Is it cool?
Indeed.
And it moves from one state to another?
Yes.
Okay, so I am to understand that the new overlay is a Transformer! Robots in disguise.
Yes, actually, yes, correct.
Listen, we all know
introduction to
Decepticons.
the introduction to the 1980s Transformer cartoon is in fact a major inspiration for the.
It's a major inspiration for me.
Yeah.
What was the song for the movie? You've Got the Touch.
You Got the Touch. Yeah.
It's Stan Bush, man.
Yeah. Of course.
I'm gonna listen to that as soon as the stream is over now.
So yeah, that's it. That's basically what I do, and who I am, and where you can see me and talk to me. So yeah, have a good week. Thanks for showing up and watching on Twitch or YouTube, and I hope you enjoyed the beginning of this new chapter that we have going here. So, yeah, that's it for me.
Speaking of songs that remind you of the good times, let's speak to songs that remind you of the better times. Pondothemad. Did he freeze? Does he not like Chumbawamba?
Does Pondo know you're talking to him?
I don't know.
No, I completely zoned out for a moment. I apologize. Yes, I am Pondothemad. You can catch me YouTube or Twitch /Pondothemad, or you can catch me here Saturday night with AP and James, where we play Rogue Trader.
We could just spend a night playing Rogue Tech, but it seems like it would be a waste.
Or you can catch me Sunday night on my channel with my own campaign as a 5e Gestalt.
Je suis?
Yes, Je suis.
I said I was going to do. Oh, I got him! Got him to say it. Perfect.
I did it just to amuse you.
Thank you. Please continue.
Yeah. It is at 8 p.m. Eastern, so you might be interested in that. You can hop over for that on Sunday. Other than that, that's about it.
I can confirm that Sunday is a day.
Truly.
That's it. That's all I have to say at the end. Sunday is a day. You know what else is a day? Next Thursday, which is when we'll return. But only if I receive enough energy from people saying, is it Thursday yet? If not, I might just not have the energy to crawl over to my computer and turn it on that day.
You hear that? The responsibility is yours, audience.
Yes, that's right. I'm holding the show emotionally hostage to satisfy my ego. That actually is a very AP thing to do. So that's it. I'm going to go to the end screen now while I figure out who to host.